so sad sighing by sycamore tree, sing on a green willow. Her head on her bosom, her head on her knee, sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh streams run by her, and murmur, sing willow, willow, willow. The salt is her slumber and soften the stone, sing willow, willow, willow. Ready, hidey, you come on, sing all the green willow must be my darling. Let nobody blame this scorn I approve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge, held today on the occasion of the Bard's 458th birthday today. Happy birthday, Mr. Shakespeare. We're going to celebrate it the way nothing unique, but we do it every Saturday, but really especially good Saturday to do it on. So get ready to see myself, Robert, John, Danielle, Maggie, and Brannon performing randomly chosen scenes and monologues from the greatest writer of all time. Based on the previously chosen, the predetermined order, we have Robert is going to be performing first, and then myself. I'm on deck. So let me bring the wheel up to see what Robert is going to perform. And add Robert to the stream. Okay. Looks like the thing I use for the wheel, that they changed the site. It's so much smaller now. It's hard to see, but I don't really like that. But it'll still work for our purposes. So Robert is going to be performing Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth. It is. I just did TikTok parodying that scene, and it's the monologue. It ends. Usually I say that I go by the starting line, but it's the rant that ends with how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is. So Act 1, Scene 4 of King Lear.
Okay, let me find this. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you want me to take it from...
Yeah, basically when he starts the long, and I'm not sure, there might be some places where other characters interject, and if you feel comfortable starting earlier and just skipping over the certain segments, combine them together to make a bigger monologue, that's always, if you can make it work, go for it.
Right. Well, I can certainly take it from Detested Kite.
Yeah, okay, that's a good place to start. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay. Detested Kite, thou liest. My train are men of choice and rarest parts, that all particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. O most small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia show, that like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from heart all love, and added to the goal. O Lear, 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 beat at this gate, that let thy folly in, and thy dear judgment out. Dear nature, here, dear goddess, here, suspend thy purpose, if thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Into her womb convey sterility, dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her derogate body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create her child of spleen, that it may live and be athwart this natured torment to her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears fret channels in her cheeks. Turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Away! Away! Scene.
Wow. all the things for a father to say to a daughter, that's just, oh man.
What a speech.
What a speech. Okay, so it's great. Now it is my turn. Danielle, you're on deck. You will go after me, but first I am going to perform Queen Mab speech. Okay. Mercutio's Act 1, Scene 4. Okay, here we go. Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spiders' legs that cover the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider's web, the collars of the moonshine's watery beams. Her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her Wagner and small gray-coated gnat, not so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub. Time out of mind the fairy's coachmakers, and in this state she gallops night and night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. Or country's knees that dreams on curtsies straight, or lawyers' fingers who would dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetments tainted are. Sometimes she gallops over a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometimes comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then dreams he of another benefice. Sometime she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of health 5 fathom deep. And then anon, drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frighted, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plats and manes of horses in the night, and bakes the efflux and foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to hear, making them women of good carriage. This is she. Okay, so up next we have Danielle. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, Henry has joined us since we started. We're glad to have him, so he will be performing as well. But it is Danielle's turn right now. Okay, you will be doing yells to her, and Maggie is on deck. Maggie will go after her. Yeah. Okay, Richard II. I've been studying how this prison. Richard II, Act 5, Scene 2. Act 5, Scene 5.
Yeah. How is my mic at the moment? Any adjustments?
Sounds fine to me.
Lovely, thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I have been studying how I may compare this prison where I live unto the world. And for because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Yet I'll hammer it out. My brain I'll prove the female to my soul the father, and these two beget a generation of still-breeding thoughts, and these same thoughts people this little world, in humours like the people of this world, for no thought is contented. The better sort, as thoughts of things divine, are intermixed with scruples, and do set the word itself against the word. As thus, come, little ones, and then again, it is as hard to come as for a camel to thread the postern of a small needle's eye. Thoughts tending to ambition, they do plot unlikely wonders. How these vain, weak nails may tear a passage through the flinty ribs of this hard world, my ragged prison walls. And, for they cannot, die in their own pride. Thoughts tending to content flatter themselves that they are not the first of fortune's slaves, nor shall not be the last, like silly beggars who sitting in the stocks refuge their shame, that many have and others must sit there, and in this thought they find a kind of ease, bearing their own misfortunes on the back of such as have before endured the like. And thus play I in one person many people, and none contented. Sometimes am I a king, and treasons make me wish myself a beggar, and so I am. Then crushing penury persuades me I was better when a king. Then am I kinged again, and by think that I am unkinged by Bolingbroke, and straight nothing, but whate'er I be, nor I nor any man that but man is with nothing shall be pleased till he be eased with being nothing. Music do I hear? Ha! Ha! Keep time! How sour sweet music is when time is broke and no proportion kept. So is it in the music of men's lives. And here have I the daintiness of ear to check time broke in a disordered string. But for the concord of my state and time, had not an ear to hear my true time broke. I wasted time, and now doth time waste me. For now hath time made me his numbering clock. My thoughts are minutes, and with sighs they jar their watches on unto mine eyes. The outward watch, where to my finger like a dial's point is pointing still in cleansing them from tears. Now, sir, the sound that tells what hour it is,
are clamorous groans which strike upon my heart, which is the bell. So sighs and tears and groans show minutes, times, and hours. But my time runs posting on in Bolingbroke's proud joy, while I stand fooling here, his jack of a clock. His music mads me, let it sound no more. For though it hath holp madmen to their wits, in me it seems it will make wise men mad. Yet blessing on his heart that gives it me, that is a sign of love, and love to Richard is a strange brooch in this all-hating world. Scene.
Okay, awesome. So let's see, Maggie is up next, and Henry, who joined us late, is on deck. So Maggie, then Henry. There's Maggie. Hello, Maggie. You will be doing.
Very good, thank you.
Titania, these are the forgeries of jealousy. Midsummer Night's Dream, Act 2, Scene 1.
Hang on a second. Okay. Let's see. Okay, got it.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, go.
These are the forgeries of jealousy. And never since the middle summer spring met we on hill, in dale, forest, or mead, by paved fountain or by rushy brook, or in the beached margent of the sea, to dance our ringlets to the whistling lind, but with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore, the winds, piping to us in vain, as in revenge, have sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling in the land have every pelting river made so proud that they have overborne their continents. The ox hath therefore stretched his yoke in vain, the plowman lost his sweat, and the green corn hath rotted ere his youth attained a beard. The fold stands empty in the drowned field, and crows are fatted with the murrian flock. The 9 men's morris is filled up with mud, and the quaint mazes and the wanton green for lack of tread are undistinguishable. The human mortals want their winter cheer. No night is now with hymn or carol blessed. Therefore, the moon, the governess of floods, pale in her anger, washes all the air that rheumatic diseases do abound. And thorough this distemperature, we see the seasons alter. Hoary-headed frosts far in the fresh lap of the crimson rose, and an old hime's thin and icy crown, an odorous chaplet of sweet summer buds is, as in mockery, set. The spring, the summer, the childing autumn, angry winter change their wonted liveries. And the mazed world, by their increase, now knows not which is which. And this same progeny of evils comes from our debate, from our dissension. We are their parents and original.
Okay, great. So next up we have Henry, and then Brannon is on deck to go after him. Henry is going to do. Have you done this one before?
I have, yes. I don't mind doing it again.
Okay.
Spin another one. Spin another one if you want.
It's up to you. It's your choice when you get one you've done before.
Okay, I'll do this one.
This one never gets old for me.
What? Much Ado for Two.
This one never gets old.
Much Ado.
Act 4, Scene 2. Yeah.
Much Ado for Two. Oh, there we are. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
I'll just put my costume on. Yeah. Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass! But, masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and, which is more, an officer, and, which is more, a householder, and, which is more, pretty a piece of flesh as any as is in Messina, and one that knows the law, go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass. Oh.
Thank you. Love that. Okay, so last we have Brannon and John are the last two to go. First Brannon, and John is on deck. Oh, Eleanor just joined us. So so Brannon, then Eleanor, and then John. Okay, Brannon is going to do okay, King Henry's opening monologue from Henry V, Part 1.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm waiting it for.
Okay.
Now I got it. Okay. So shaken as we are, so wan with care, find we a time for frighted peace to pant, and breathe short-winded accents of new broils, to be commenced in strands afar remote. No more the thirsty entrance of this soil shall daub her lips with her own children's blood, nor more shall trenching war channel her fields, nor bruise her flowers with the armed hoofs of hostile places. Those opposite eyes, which, like the meteors of a troubled heaven, all of one nature, of one substance bred, did lately meet in the intestines shock and furious close of civil butchery, shall now, in mutual well-beseeming ranks, march all one way, and be no more opposed against acquaintance, kindred, and allies. The edge of war, like an ill-sheathed knife, no more shall cut his master. Therefore, friends, as far to the sculptor of Christ, whose soldier now, under whose blessed cross we are impressed and engaged to fight. Forthwith, with the power of England, shall we levy, whose arms were molded in their mother's womb, to chase these pagans in those holy fields over whose acres walk and those blessed feet, which 1400 years ago were nailed for our advantage on the bitter cross. Sorry, I lost my place. But this our purpose now is 12 months old, and bootless 'tis to tell you we will go. Therefore, we meet not now. Then let me hear of you, my gentle cousin Westmoreland, done as may not be, without much shame retold or spoken of. It seems then that the tidings of this broil break off our business for the Holy Land.
Okay, great. So we have Eleanor and then John, and then we move on to our scenes. Eleanor, glad you made it. You're gonna do the boy, Henry V, the end of Act 3, Scene 2, after the Bardolph and the others are chased off by
Henry V, end of 3-2. That doesn't look right.
Comments on the.
Oh, I see. Wait, as young as I am. Is that?
Yes. That.
Okay.
Okay. So. Go ahead.
As young as I am, I have observed these three swashers. I'm boy to them all three, but all they three, though they would serve me, could not be man to me, for indeed 3 such antics do not amount to a man. For Bardolph, he is white-livered and red-faced, by the means whereof he faces it out, but fights not. For Pistol, he hath a killing tongue, and a quiet sword, by the means whereof he breaks words and keeps whole weapons. For Nym he hath heard that men of few words are the best men, and therefore he scorns to say his prayers, lest he should be thought a coward. But his few bad words are matched with as few good deeds, for he never broke any man's head but his own, and that was against a post when he was drunk. They will steal anything and call it a purchase. Bardolph stole a lute case, bore it 12 leagues, and sold it for 3 halfpence. Nym and Bardolph are sworn brothers in filching, and in Calais they stole a fire shovel. I knew by that piece of service the men would carry coals. They would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves or their handkerchers, which makes much against my manhood if I should take from another's pocket to put into mine, for it is plain pocketing up of wrongs. I must leave them and seek some better service. Their villainy goes against my weak stomach, and therefore I must cast it up.
Okay, very nice. One of the few prose monologues on this on the wheel, and it's good to throw that in for variety every now and then. So our last monologue before we spin to find some scenes for the 7 of us to get involved in together will be by John. There's John. There he is. John will do. God's bread, it makes me mad. And Juliet not marry Paris. Act 3, scene 5. You found it? Ready to go?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm scrolling down looking for it. God's bread? Yeah.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Is how it begins.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company. Still in my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, a fair, I can't say that, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched puling fuel, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed. I cannot love, I am too young. I pray you, pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze not where you will, graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it. I do not use jest. Thursday is near, lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. And you be hot, not hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee. For what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, think you, I'll not be forsworn. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, nice. So nice work, everybody, today on the monologues. We'll now move on to scenes. Danielle had to leave us, so we're back to 7 actors. We will now go, so we'll create scenes to give roles for 7 of us. So first scene. Much Ado About Nothing, Act 3, Scene 1, Hero and Ursula. Hero and Ursula, Act 3, Scene 1. Romeo and Juliet. We've done this one before, but it's been a while, so I took it out of retirement. This is for 3 of us. The 4.1, the Friar, Paris, and Juliet. Henry V, the first scene after the prologue, the 2 bishops. Bishop of Canterbury and Bishop of Ely. Okay. So, the first choice, John gets the first choice amongst those. Again, it's perfect. One of the 3 scenes is 3 characters. So that makes exactly 7 roles for the 7 of us. So once again, the roles are in Much Ado About Nothing, Hero and Ursula in Act 3, Scene 1, and Romeo and Juliet, the Friar, Paris, and Juliet in Act 4, Scene 1, and the opening scene, opening after the prologue, first one after the chorus, the 2 bishops, Canterbury and Ely, in Henry V. So what would you like, John?
I must excuse myself. I'm sorry. Something has come up. I have to excuse myself. I'm sorry. We have a third person now. But thank you. And I'll see you next week. And thank you so much.
See you next week. Sorry you weren't able to. Okay. I think so. We have an extra roll. What I'll do is I'll just maybe there'll be one after everyone's picked. We'll have one spare roll, and I can either just assign it or I can spin for it. We'll figure that out when we get there. The next choice is Brannon. What would you like of those rolls, Brannon?
I'll take Juliet.
Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Henry, what would you like?
Friar, please.
Henry will be the friar. Maggie, what would you like?
I will be a hero. If I didn't actually hear who Brannon chose, so
she chose Juliet. So
okay, so I'll be hero.
Okay, Eleanor. Oh, did we lose Eleanor too?
She's doing another production, so she may have had to go play a part.
Oh, you know.
She might be back though.
Yeah. Well, this just means two of us will go twice, and we can make it work. Okay. My choice. I'll choose the Bishop of Canterbury, and that's the bigger of the two roles. And then Robert. Robert, what would you like?
No one has picked Paris yet?
No, you want to be Paris?
I'll take Paris.
Okay. So Ursula. Let me bring the wheel back up again, get our names on here. We'll spin to see who's going to get who plays this additional. Well, you know what? That might be difficult because. I will just assign. So Maggie and here, Brannon, would you like to also be? Would you like to join Maggie for the Much Ado About Nothing scene as well?
Sure.
Okay, and then let's see. And Robert, would you like to be the other bishop with me in the scene?
Fine.
So. Yeah, so because we lost a couple actors, a couple will double up and do multiple scenes.
Okay, great.
So we'll start with.
My internet's not going very fast, but I'm trying to get it. Oh, okay, I have it. Leonardo's Garden.
So Brannon, and let me create the banner for it.
Okay. Leonardo's Garden.
Can we start at the top? Margaret has just one line that perhaps Mark can do.
You can skip. Yeah, obviously we skip Margaret. Just put the two.
Okay, just skip her. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Ready, Brannon?
Yeah, my computer's weird.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me when.
I will. I'm trying to get this over here.
I got it. I know they don't always cooperate.
These damn computers. Okay. Shit. Okay, now I've got it. All right. Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us and bid her steal into the pleached bower where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter like favorites, made proud by princes that advance their pride against that power that bred it. There she will hide her to listen our purpose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it and leave us alone. Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close to the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasance angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new trothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full a fortunate a bed as even Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man. But nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seem weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape, nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so, and therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, why, nature, drawing of an antique, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives the truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad a die as with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, I rather will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit, as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedict for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellent did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
So true.
Very nice. Thank you.
So true.
We're moving on to Friar Lawrence's cell, Act 4, Scene 1. Paris, the friar, and Juliet will start. So it starts. It's just Paris and the friar are on.
Yeah, my internet is misbehaving.
Yeah, and then I'll add. Then I'm going to add Juliet to the scene when she comes in. So it starts with the two of you. Paris is going to leave, or actually, Juliet's going to enter, and then Paris is going to leave. I'll manage that, moving in and out of the screen. You both ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father, Capulet, will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is the course. I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which too much minded by herself alone may be put from her by society. Now do you know the reason of this haste?
And I would not know why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the ladies towards my cell.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
Okay, I'm still pulling this up. I'm sorry. Okay. That may be, sir. That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Are you still lost?
I'm not lost. My internet is just
Oh.
no. God. Okay. Okay. Hopefully, this is going to be now.
Okay. Why don't we, since we had the interruption, why don't we start over?
Okay, that's fine. I've got it now.
You've got it now. Okay.
Yes.
So let me take you out of the screen, then me, and then let's take it from the top.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father, Capulet, will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is the course. I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrows so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which too much minded by herself alone may be put from her by society. Now, you do know the reason of this haste.
I would I knew why it should be slowed. Oh, look, sir, here comes the lady towards my cell.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I shall confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
Oh, I will confess to you that I love him.
So will you, I am sure, that you love me.
If I do so, it will be of more price being spoke behind your back than to your face.
Poor soul. Thy face is much abused with tears.
The tears have got small victory by that, for it was bad enough before their spite.
Thou wrong'st it more than tears with that report.
That is no slander, sir, which is a truth, and what I spake it to my face.
Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
It may be so, for it is not mine own. Are you at leisure now, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
Concealed, I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me. Past hope, past cure, past help.
Ah, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Oh, tell me not, friar, thou hearest of it, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. God joined my heart and Romeo's. Thou our hands, and ere this hand by thee to Romeo sealed shall be the label to another deed. Oh, my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another. This shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experience time, give me some present counsel, or behold, twixt my extreme and me this bloody knife shall play the umpire, arbitrating that which the commission of thy years and art could to no issue of true honor bring. Be not so long to speak, I long to die. If what thou speakest, speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter. I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperation and execution, as that is desperate which we would prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then is it likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this shame that copest with death himself to escape from it? And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of yonder tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, or chain me with roaring bears, or shut me nightly in a charnel house, or covered quite with dead man's rattling bones, with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me into the new-made grave and hide me with a dead man in his shroud. Things that to hear them told have made me tremble, that I will do without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then. Go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris.
What?
Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Lie not let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take this vial, being then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou off. When presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humour, for no pulse shall keep this native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fade to paly ashes. Thy eyes' windows fall like death when he shuts up the day of life. Each part, deprived of supple government, shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as a manner of our country is, in thy best robes and covered on a bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come. And he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valour in the acting it.
Oh, give me. Oh, tell me not of fear.
Hold, get you gone. Be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to my lord.
Oh, love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
Okay. So lastly, we have the two bishops in Henry V, and Robert was missing with that. Are you ready to go with that? Okay. So I start with this one. Okay. My lord, I'll tell you that self-bill is urged, which in the 11th year of the last king's reign was like and had indeed against us passed, but that the scrambling and unquiet time did push it out of farther question.
But how, my lord, shall we resist it now?
It must be thought on. If it pass against us, we lose the better half of our protection. For all the temporal lands which men devout by testament had given to the church would they strip from us, being valued thus as much as would maintain to the king's honor full 15 earls and 1,500 knights, 6,200 good esquires, and to relief of lasers and weak age, of indigent faint souls past corporal toil, 100th almhouses right well supplied, and the coffers of the king beside, 1,000 pounds by the year. Thus runs the bill.
This would drink deep.
Would drink the cup and all.
What prevention?
The king is full of grace and fair regard,
and a true lover of the Holy Church.
The course of his youth promised it not. But the breath no sooner left his father's body, but that his wildness, mortified in him, seemed to die too. Yea, at that very moment, consideration like an angel came and whipped the offending Adam out of him, leaving his body as a paradise to envelop and contain celestial spirits. Never was such a sudden scholar made, never came reformation in a flood with such a heady currents, scouring faults, nor never hydra-headed willfulness so soon did lose his seat, and all at once, as in this king.
We are blessed in the change.
Hear him but reason at divinity, and all admiring with an inward wish, you would desire the king were made a prelate. Hear him debate of commonwealth affairs, you would say it hath been all in his study. List his discourse of war, and you shall hear a fearful battle rendered you in music. Turn him to any cause of policy. The Gordian knot of it he will unloose, familiar as his garter, that when he speaks, the air, a chartered libertine, is still, and the mute wonder lurketh in men's ears to steal his sweet and honeyed sentences, so that the art and practice part of life must be the mistress to his theoric. Which is a wonder how his grace should glean it, since his addiction was to courses vain, his companies unaltered, rude and shallow, his hours filled up with riots, bequests, sports, and never noted in him any study, any retirement, any sequestration from him, haunts and popularity.
The strawberry grows underneath the nettle, and wholesome berries thrive and ripen best, neighbored by fruit of baser quality. And so the prince obscured his contemplation under the veil of wildness, which no doubt grew like the summer grass, fastest by night, unseen, yet crestive in his faculty.
It must be so, for miracles are ceased, and therefore we must needs admit the means how things are perfected.
But my good lord, how now for mitigation of this bill urged by the commons? Doth his majesty incline to it? Oh no.
He seems indifferent, or rather swaying more upon our part than cherishing the exhibitors against us. For I have made an offer to his majesty upon our spiritual convocation, and in regard of causes now in hand, which I have opened to his grace at large, as touching France, to give a greater sum than ever at one time the clergy yet did to his predecessors part withal.
How did this offer seem received, my lord?
With good acceptance of his majesty, save that there was not time enough to hear, as I perceived his grace would fain have done, the several and unhidden passages of his true titles to some certain dukedoms, and generally to the crown and seat of France, derived from Edward, his great-grandfather.
What was the impediment that broke this off?
The French ambassador, upon that instance, craved audience, and the hour, I think, has come to give him hearing. Is it 4 o'clock?
It is.
Then go we in to know his embassy, which I would with a ready guess declare, before the Frenchmen speak a word of it.
I'll wait upon you, and I long to hear it.
Okay, great. So that concludes our round for this week. Once again, I mentioned we did this, put out the honor to Shakespeare's 458th birthday today. I in addition to Wheel of Shakespeare, I did create a video that I uploaded to my channel 9 a.m. this morning. I hope, encourage people watching to check that out as well. There is also many people from the same group. There's many people from outside as well are working with me on readings of plays on Sundays, as well as this on Saturday. We did a good Easter play last Sunday. Maggie and Henry were in that with me. So I encourage you to check that out. As far as other announcements, I believe Eleanor had an announcement as well. She had something she wanted to encourage people, although she's not with us anymore. I forgot what it was. I was gonna invite her to come into the stream and announce it, but I'll email her. It's some kind of performance she wanted to encourage people to take a look at. I'll email her and tell her to just put it in the comments section. Maybe by the time people watch this who aren't watching live, they'll see the comment there with a link to that. But so I hope you'll check that out. Does anybody else, looking at the private chat, does anybody else have another announcement of anything upcoming that people watching are going to want to not miss? Okay, I guess not. But so remember those things I mentioned. Look for the link to Eleanor's thing, and I'll see everybody again same time next Saturday for Wheel of Shakespeare. Thank you, everybody. Bye now.